the Premier and the Lieutenant Governor have disobeyed a statute, which is a Criminal Code violation, Section 126 of the Canadian Criminal Code.
Wow.
The Lieutenant Governor and the Premier have also violated Section 218, 245, and 269.1.
Wow.
218 is reckless endangerment of children. 245 is forcing somebody to breathe in carbon dioxide, a known toxic substance. Item number 74, Schedule 1, Canadian Environmental Protection Act, 14 years in jail. 269.1 is torture. And one of the elements of torture is threats. Threats of a fine. I again ask the police to detain and question the Lieutenant Governor and the Premier for those criminal code offenses.
Woo! Lock them up! Lock them up! Lock them up! Lock them up!
Lock them up!
One other thing that I'd like to say to the police, with respect, under the general in the regulations of the Police Services Act, neglect of duty under the Police Services Act is defined as fails to report a matter that is his or her duty to report, fails to report anything that he or she knows concerning a criminal or other charge. I'm asking the police to file a report regarding the Premier and the Lieutenant Governor for the criminal code conduct that I've just described, plus there's more. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Oh my goodness. That's the beauty of the information of these rallies, these protests, is that, you know what, I don't always know what's going on, but there's great people that have the information I can depend on to know. I don't need to know a darn thing, and I just show up like the rest of you. I really do hope for all the best with everything, my friends. You know what? There's no other way to go than up, no matter what. Are you with me? So now our V Sparks here would have to leave a little message that she'd like to continue from an earlier speech. V Sparks, people.
Okay, so I totally forgot. There was an episode this week. Yeah, with Vlad and Sarah and Nico, Dr. Tenpenny's assistant and I, we went to Costco. I don't know if you guys saw the video. Dear God. My fire was blazing. I had to hold myself back. My heart was racing, my blood was boiling. Because the store manager, the assistant manager that was there, decided they would stop us before we could go in, just walk directly into Costco. And the Costco Yorkdale. So Dr. Tenpenny's assistant, Michelle, she was being very, very diplomatic and sweet, trying to talk to them about how their new policy, you know, it doesn't, you know, she was just speaking to them about that and just to get an idea, like, how are you guys implementing a new corporate policy where mask exemptions are refused? So I was just like, okay, this is not, I had to calm down, but I just jumped in there and I brought up the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
Yeah!
Right? 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 Yes or yes? How powerful is the Charter of Rights and Freedoms? Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad we agree. So, I brought up the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I said, you guys are operating on Canadian land. So, that means that we, medically exempt, can enter. You cannot deny us access to the products and services. So because I was on a good train of thought and we were gaining, I don't know, we were gaining traction, whatever, the assistant manager decides to derail the conversation and says to me verbatim, even if you came in here naked, I wouldn't let you in. I was like, okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now, I had to calm down. Right. And I mentioned to him, first of all, don't demean me. Because we were having an intellectual conversation here until you try to derail it. So, and I told him very straight, would you like me to report you for harassment? Because that's exactly what it was. It was discrimination, first of all. And then it became harassment. So, and it's very important that we don't dismiss these matters, because people who saw the video were like, oh, why would you say it's sexual harassment? Because I perceive it as such. And that gives it grounds for me to call it out for what it is.
That's right.
Okay? And that's what we have to do. Instead of women being submissive, because we've been for that for so long, we need to stand up to harassment. When people cross the line, as it's been happening on so many levels, I felt the need that, to share this, because this is important. This is hugely important for any opportunity, for any social injustices to be called out upon. Yes or yes? Okay. Great, awesome. So on that note, I just wanted to bring up that, these corporations are open, as we know. Walmart, all these malls, the malls stay open, the Walmarts, the Costco's, but what about the small businesses? And as a small business owner, since day one, when I had to shut my doors, and I was like, nah, okay. And then the devastation after 8 months, 250,000 businesses across Canada that have to permanently close their doors, who have put their life savings, have taken out loans, okay, have to stay closed? No. So let's do a huge shout out. Let's do a huge applause to all those small business owners that are enduring this time, to put it lightly, that are enduring this time, and let's support and save small businesses. Let's support small businesses in whatever way we can. Let's think of them first before going to a corporation. Okay? Let's think about going to them first. Thank you.
Thank you so much, V. Stay standing for 1 second here. I'm glad she talked about the fact that the government and the system has crossed the line. You see, because I just wanted to help her have one of these wonderful line hoodies to say thank you, Vanessa. V. Sparks, thank you so much for being a part of the line. You're wonderful. We're gonna work on this together. All right, guys. And you know what? She's helping out, so get some ideas to V. Say, this is what I'm thinking and stuff, just so that she knows what's going on too. I'd like you guys to involve her when we're starting to talk about certain things, because we have conversations. And if it's nice to have V around, she can handle some of the stuff with me. You guys got me? Thank you. Now, there's one final presentation done by the Duke. Put your hands together for the Duke. He is found. Now this will be quick, because I'm saying, guys, we've been at least 20 minutes, half an hour behind, but this man, I need to give him a chance here, because this guy's got a message got to be heard. Thank you, my friends. Everybody put your hands together for the Duke! Thank you, Lamont.
Some of you may not, but I guarantee by the end of today, none of you will forget me. As I left home today, my girlfriend said to me, be gentle on them. They're new to you. So I thought I would start with a little music just to help set everybody at ease and give you an idea of who Duke is. Bear with me for a second.
Just a little bit. It doesn't make your breath catch in your chest. Just a little bit. Then you're a sad, cold-hearted motherfucker, and I don't want to know you.
Okay, I guess I'm not going to get a chance to speak. Thanks, Lamont. Okay. Well, I haven't made really a formal speech, one that I've written out, since the 1990s. Back in the mid-90s, I went to a convention in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a gentleman by the name of Ben Nighthorse Campbell, who was governor of the state of New Mexico at the time, he introduced me to the symposium where I was speaking as a diamond in the rough. To be honest with you folks, that was the last time I wrote a speech. I've made many speeches since then. It was the last time I actually sat and wrote one. Until today, I actually wrote a speech for today. Where did I put it? Oh, I remember. It's up here. Top hats are better than toques. You can store a couple of cans of beer in this thing, okay? So here's my speech. I got it right here. Now this is a pretty important speech. I was sitting in a very private room doing some serious thinking, and I grabbed the nearest piece of paper I could find to write the speech down. Oh, damn! There goes my speech. Well, I'll tell you what, I did bring some notes. For those of you who don't know, I grew up in Niagara-on-the-Lake. You ever been there? How many of you know, I'll take that, sir. The dome is getting chilly. Hey. The good Lord only made so many perfect heads. The rest have hair. So, as I was saying, I grew up in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Did you know that Niagara-on-the-Lake was the first capital of Upper Canada? Did you know that the government that Doug Ford runs today was founded in Niagara-on-the-Lake? Long before anything ever happened with regards to the Dominion of Canada. In 1792, a man named Lieutenant Governor John Graves Simcoe established the very first style of British parliamentary government in this land. And it is defined as a form of limited representational government. In Mr. Graves' 1792 government, which is exactly the same government, you can follow the political records, the government records from Newark, now Niagara-on-the-Lake. In 1792, the very same government is now sitting in a former insane asylum that we call Queen's Park. Rather fitting, isn't it? A former insane asylum is where our government sits. I, for one, find that very apropos. Who said it was former? Good question. So in 1792, the government described as limited representational government. It consisted of 3 levels, like we have today, provincially and federally. It consisted of the Legislative Assembly that had 11 members elected by the public. So you are the people of maybe areas like Galt, Guelph, and London, Niagara's early settlers. You got to vote 11 of your friends to be representatives. The next level in the government was called the Legislative Council. That was a 9-member appointed, not elected. Think of our federal Senate. They're appointed, not elected. In 1792, 9 members of the Legislative Council held full veto power over the 11 representatives of the people. And in 1792, those 9 members were all members of Lodge Number 2, Masonic Lodge Number 2, located in Niagara-on-the-Lake, right next to Simcoe Park, where a statue of Lieutenant Governor John Graves Simcoe stands. Ladies and gentlemen, the government that was created in 1792 was duplicated in Ottawa. You have no representation. Want modern proof of the fact that you have no representation? Doug Ford can lie to you and get away with it? In 1988, the people of Wetaskiwin, Alberta, wrong enough to read that, and these people need to hear it. In 1988, the people of Wetaskiwin, Alberta were approached by a candidate running for Mr. Mulroney's Conservative Party. He promised the people of Wetaskiwin that he would not vote in favor of the GST, and he would not vote in favor of the free trade deal between US and the West, which was going to destroy the lumber industry back then. You remember the 1980s free trade deal? Remember GST coming in the late 80s? Mr. Littlechild, candidate for Mr. Mulroney, stood up and told all his voters, I will vote no on the GST. I will vote no on the free trade deal. He won an 80% majority of his riding. He trotted off to Ottawa. I have the power of the people. I will represent the people.
Can't hear you! We can't hear you!
You can't? We're good. There, that better? Okay, all right.
People? All right, so do you have a way of people getting a hold of your information so that they can follow up? No. Is everybody okay with him wrapping it up? Is it going to hit the straight? Later, my friend.
All right. You want to hear this, folks, because this is you, okay? You think all these politicians are going to protect you, Max Bernier is going to help you. Here's the truth. The people of Wetaskiwin got together and filed a lawsuit against their elected official because when he got to Ottawa, he voted yes on GST and yes on the free trade deal, completely against what he had promised the voters.
That's it. No more talking. Put your hands together for Duke, everyone. Thank you, Duke. Thank you. What I'll do is this, guys. If you want to reach out to me on the website, email me. I'll get you some contact information for Duke. Are you guys okay with that? Thank you, Duke. Put your hands together for Paul O'Rourke. You literally have 1 minute or two to hear out for Paul.
What's up? What's up? I'll be quick. It's good to see this place fill up. Let's start promoting it for 11 o'clock, because I'm always late myself. And I didn't want to be talking to, a couple hundred people. I want to see it's like 10,000. There's no reason why there shouldn't be thousands and thousands and thousands of people here every week. All right? It's not good enough to just show up and go home and